Hello and welcome back to some more F1 2020 in part 15 of my team career mode with Jordan GP Mercedes. Today we have the Italian Grand Prix, which is going to be a whole load of fun. Obviously last time I didn't have the result that we wanted. Changeable conditions, we took a risk. It didn't pay off. It was a bit of a shame in the end really. But yeah, hopefully today we can have an improved result. I think we want to change to our least worn engine of the season so far. So I think that's exactly what we'll do. Look for the least worn components because it is going to be the most important race of the season in terms of power and how much we have got. We've got 3 million in the bank, which is fantastic. I think for the most part, between now and the end of the season, I am going to try and save as much money as possible to really invest in the winter, and hopefully when we get a new sponsor as well, a new main sponsor, hopefully we'll be able to do that. 9.8 million, of course, the goal bonus. We have had 5 points finishes this season, so we will be getting that, which is an excellent amount of money. We're also going to get plenty of money from these sponsors as well before the end of the season. So thank you for all the incredible support so far. I really do appreciate it. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying the series. It's been an absolute pleasure to make it so far. And with Monza, let's see how we get on in qualifying. Well, here we come towards Parabolica for the first time. Charles Leclerc has just gone fastest with a 1:19.4. I'm not entirely sure what our pace is going to be like this weekend. I don't think this has been our best lap so far. And we come up to the line, it's a 1:20.6, which puts us 5th for the moment, but behind Danny Kvyat, which I think, we should be doing better than him.
6.
Wait and see, guys, with 4.5 minutes to go. We're currently in 10th place with this 1:20.6. Nick de Vries, it looks like he's probably going out with a 1:21.3. Hopefully he can improve. I am going to go out there for one more lap, but, I think we are safely through. If we do get through, and we'll obviously use just the one set of tyres in Q2, as that's all we'll have left, but I'm hoping that time will be enough. Looks like most of the grid are actually in the pit lane, so they seem to think their times are good enough, so I'm not expecting times to drop drastically here, but we'll give it a go and we'll see what our time is. Well, here we come up to the line then. You can see we're 3/10 quicker than we were before. And that should hopefully secure our position in 6th place. That's pretty damn good in Q1. I don't know how much better we're going to be able to do in Q2, if at all. But hopefully we can. Let's have a little look at who's gone through then. Daniel Ricciardo, very impressive in 4th place there. Lewis Hamilton, quickest out of all the runners. Unfortunately, Nick de Vries just missing out on Q2, 1 place outside of there. But going out, surprisingly, Lance Stroll, Kevin Magnussen, George Russell, Nicholas Latifi and Romain Grosjean. Well, we've got one more corner to perfect. We were purple in Sector 1, green in Sector 2, of course. Here we come round the final corner. It's not the best entry in the world, but we come up to the line. What's it going to be? It's a 1:20.4. Where does that take us? 10th! We're through! Yes! Excellent. We're through to Q3 for the Italian Grand Prix, which is absolutely amazing. once again, dragging every ounce of performance out of this car. Oh, happy with that one. And we put out Kimi Räikkönen in the process in the Alfa Romeo, and Alex Albon in the Red Bull as well. Max Verstappen seems to be struggling this weekend also. Sergio Perez 13th, Lando Norris 14th, Gasly 15th, and Kvyat 16th. One corner to go. How far up the grid can we get? Can we maybe get into the top 6? That would be an amazing achievement. Here we come up to the line. Once again, not the best entry into Parabolica, but we come up to the line. What's it going to be? It's a 1:19.9. Where does that set us? 5th. What an amazing qualifying for us. We set it up for straight line speeds, and boy, if we hit some fantastic straight line speed in this session, and we qualify 5th.
It's time to remind ourselves.
Wow.
Of our top 3: Leclerc, Hamilton, and Valtteri Bottas. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Well, obviously, we were never ever going to be in contention for pole position, but we wrung everything out of that car and qualified 5th in the end. Best of the rest behind the top 4. Max Verstappen struggling this weekend. I'm assuming Red Bull having some tricky performance on the straights. Carlos Sainz an excellent 6th for McLaren, and both Renault cars 7th and 8th. They'll be really thrilled with that. Antonio Giovinazzi outqualifies his teammate at his home Grand Prix, and Max Verstappen rounds out the top 10. So let's get into the race. It's going to be another wet one, so that means anything could happen.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today here at the oldest circuit on the calendar. Monza hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around Parabolica, the last and most demanding of this track's 11 corners. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Why don't we discuss McLaren? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Vettel, the captain, and Sainz, Ricciardo, Giovinazzi, Verstappen, and Kimi Räikkönen. Albon, Ocon, they've taken a grid penalty. Sergio Perez, and Norris, Gasly, Kvyat, Nick de Vries, and Lance Stroll. Magnussen, Russell, Latifi, and Romain Grosjean sits at the back of the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So here we are then, down on the track. Of course, it's wet weather. Looks like intermediate conditions rather than full wets, just like in at Spa, which probably means bad things for tyre wear, but we'll try our absolute best to get through this. I'm not certain our race pace will be 5th fastest, but you know, hopefully we can get in the back end of the points today, and it will be a real boost before a few massive upgrades are coming before Singapore, of course. So yeah, really looking forward to that. It is intermediate conditions. It doesn't look like the weather's going to improve as we go through the race, so let's just get into it.
Right, let's get the car up to temperature on this lap. We're learning the gears, so go through them all if you can.
So obviously on the run down to turn 1, it's going to tighten up. It's all going to be about whether we can hold our position. Try not to put the power down straight away like that. That wasn't good. So running over the grass now. That wasn't the best. I think let's skip the formation lap. End the humiliation there. So here we go. Ready for the lights. Lights out, away we go here in Italy. Lots of wheel spin off the start. We actually have to drop out of it. Otherwise we would have sent it spinning. And we've actually lost a load of places off the start. Massive wheel spin and a huge lock-up into turn 1. But we've actually managed to get through. There's yellow flags. I'm not entirely sure what's happened. But wow, 6th place out of turn 1. And turn 2, we'll take that after the getaway we got. That was crazy. The lock-up that we got into turn 1 there, absolutely unbelievable. But we're safely through in 6th place, and hopefully that's a sign of things to come. And there goes Ricciardo straight through. So just struggling for downforce at the moment. Look at the straight line speed that we've got is massively to our benefit as we take Ascari very, very riskily there. We've got Giovinazzi trying to get through, but the straight line speed is just superior in this Jordan. Come into Parabolica for the first time in this Grand Prix. But Charles Leclerc leading the way. We come through in 7th place. Well, we've gone down the inside of Daniel Ricciardo. That could be a huge move in this Grand Prix. Finally, we're in some clean air. I feel like we are definitely faster than Ricciardo.
0.6 seconds.
And now we can have a bit of a push at trying to get past Carlos Sainz and back into 5th place. But looks good for points right now. Well, we've got 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and we've reduced the gap to Sainz to 1.7 seconds, gaining about a second every lap on the Spaniard. I really do think we've got a good chance of 5th place today. We're not going to catch Vettel top 4 far too quick for us today, but should be able to have some fun with Sainz.
It looks like the problem is terminal.
Well, Bottas is out. Valtteri Bottas is out again. What a crazy season he's having. And there you go. So we're up into 5th position now. So another chance for a 4th place here, just like in Hungary. And another great bulk of points. But we have lost a little bit of time to Sainz because of those yellow flags. Well, coming on to the final lap of the race, we're not going to be able to get past Sainz. I think our tyres, unfortunately, have just lost their grip. And Sainz has, you know, pulled out some pretty good lap times in the last few laps. But we're, you know, still going to hold 5th position, which is 10 more points. You know, we pulled out a fabulous gap to Giovinazzi and Ricciardo behind. So I think that's something to be really proud of. That
less than a lap of fuel now.
We've been definitively the 6th fastest driver today, obviously with Bottas retiring. Who knows what he could have done in this Grand Prix, but it's really been a pleasure to drive it. I know there's not been too much action for a wet race, but that's because we've done a decent job. Just sort of backing off now. Don't want to push the car too hard. We've got this position in the bag. There's no real need to push too hard anymore. But Charles Leclerc's won the Grand Prix, the top three finishing within a couple of seconds of each other. I think that's a real great achievement from Formula One. Carlos Sainz is going to finish an excellent fourth for McLaren, and we're going to finish fifth for Jordan. I think we can be absolutely thrilled with that.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Here we are then, a thoroughly deserved win in Italy after another excellent Grand Prix. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they clearly have a car that comes alive in the kind of conditions we were dealing with today. It's a very balanced package in the wet, and what that means is that the drivers have confidence to attack. And having that confidence gets you on the power earlier, it lets you brake later, and can put you a long way up the road.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again. Let's have a quick look at how the driver standings have changed. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage yourself out on the track today. He was almost flawless out there. Incredible stuff.
Let's move on to the constructors. The current championship leaders still hold top spot, but that gap is getting smaller. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, there we have it then, a wonderful Italian Grand Prix, and I tell you what, it's going to be an exciting end to the season. You know, ourselves, Renault and Alfa, all battling for that 6th position in the championship. We're still battling for 10th in the championship, just gone above Lando Norris for 10th place at the moment. I suppose we could get as high as 7th by the end of the season, depending on how the next few races go. With big upgrades in store, I'm really hoping that this is just the beginning. We've had some fantastic results recently, and I do truly believe that this car can do special things. Unfortunately though, it's a one-man show at the moment. Nick de Vries really hasn't shown his true potential. I must say I'm incredibly disappointed by Nick de Vries. He's been incredibly quiet, very rarely getting through to Q2, but Mick Schumacher was doing great at the start of the season, so I think we may have made a mistake in getting Nick de Vries over Mick Schumacher, but you can see we were at the 4th fastest car on pace today, which is absolutely amazing. Obviously, Valtteri Bottas would have been quicker. And Albon actually did a pretty quick lap towards the end as well. I don't really know what happened to Red Bull. Just never really featured today. But there you go. That's where we're going to leave it for today's episode. If you have enjoyed that, then make sure you leave a like down below. It really does help out. Means a lot to me as well. Subscribe to the channel for daily F1 2020 content. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.